Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 17 of This Korean Life. Today's episode is brought to you by ESL Hacker. Need a lesson plan on the fly? Want to make next Friday's class more memorable? Check out eslhacker.com. The team there is dedicated to making creative classroom content. ESL Hacker provides classroom material to help you conduct more exciting, dynamic, engaging classes. They provide worksheets for pop songs, mini documentaries. They have a true story section and also a free monthly newspaper. Stop winging all of your classes and stop teaching boring old books every single day. Improve the lives of your students and the happiness of yourself. Check out eslhacker.com. You can also follow them on Instagram and Facebook at eslhacker. Today's episode is also brought to you by Ulsan Online. Even with all the bus applications and services available to help make foreign residents' lives in Ulsan more comfortable, Ulsan Online still manages to stay relevant, providing information for everything you need to know about living in Ulsan. With a Facebook group of over 9,000 members, Ulsan Online is one of the largest online expat communities in the area. Their website has been going strong for over 10 years now. It is your source for information on everything from travel to when Costco is open. For everything in Ulsan, Ulsan Online has you covered. This page and Facebook group has been the glue in our community for over a decade. Check them out, Ulsan Online. This episode features Neil Park. Neil's an extraordinary character who has lived more than most Koreans, and so we decided to do a two-part series with him. In this, the first part, he describes his education and family pressure to excel in school in order to gain a worthy job. He shed some shocking insight on what being a public school teacher is like in his early career. Then he goes on to discuss moving to Vietnam with his wife, to work in an international school, having 2 children there, and how the Vietnamese love absolutely everything Korean. This is a shocking episode, but what a life this guy's lived. I'm really looking forward to recording episode 2, and I hope you guys like number 1.
You are now tuned into This Korean Life with your hosts, Brian and Nate.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of This Korean Life.
Finally back in the studio here. We've been a few months out. Busy semester on the go. Our guest today, Pak Shin Neil.
Yes, sir.
An old friend of mine. Just to start, I was at Costco last night and I saw something and I couldn't believe it. Do you have a Costco membership? Do you shop at Costco?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, I did.
Do you ever eat the onions?
Sometimes, but not usually.
How many? If you had to... I know where this is going.
Some of you might not know, but I was at Costco last night and the onions are gone.
Why?
No more onions.
Really?
Which is unheard of anywhere in the world.
Is it empty? No, it's not empty. They took the machine, the grinding machine. They took it away.
They're gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Because Koreans like the onion salad too much.
Ah.
You know, in Canada and America and Japan, everywhere else that has onions, it's for your hot dog. The onions are for your hot dog.
Yes.
They're not for a 2-pound salad for free.
Yeah.
You can't fill the cola cup. What's a cola cup? A soft drink cup.
Yeah.
You can't finish your soft drink, go to the bathroom, rinse it out, and fill it with onions to bring home. It would just be considered rude or not common courtesy. So onions for us is just for your hot dogs or maybe an extra on your pizza, but
Not for salad.
That's not salad. That's onions with ketchup.
and for those of you that don't know, we'll tag a few videos and stuff in the links. But my God, the Koreans can grind those things for 5 minutes till they have a mountain of onions. Coat them in ketchup and mustard, and then it's their free salad or the Costco kimchi.
Yeah.
Did you ever do that?
No, I didn't. Actually, I don't do that. My wife cooks, so I don't actually care.
So I just thought, wow, I can't imagine. And the foreigners always talked about
different.
how many onions they must go through because people steal them like there's a water crisis and it's water. But yeah, who knew that you needed that many onions to survive?
Yeah. That's funny, man. I've seen that a couple of times and pretty critical of it, and it's just funny, I think.
So now if you ask for onions at the counter, they give you this tiny little container of onions,
Really?
which would be good for a hot dog.
But listen, fast forward 6 months, Nate will be complaining. Oh, they're giving out the plastic. Oh, save our environment.
I might start grinding my own onions and sell them outside.
That's
Cheap onions.
not a bad idea.
Anyways, been quite a while since I've seen you. We met, must have been 2008 maybe,
Yes.
the first time.
The winter of 2000.
And you've been on a heck of a roller coaster since then.
Right.
From what Nate's told me, you're not living the traditional Korean ajashi life of going to work in a factory or just having that steady 9 to 5. You've experienced various working in various countries and in different careers. So
Yeah,
we'd like to.
adventure.
We'd like to talk about that as well. We'd like to talk about family. But before we get into anything, why don't you just introduce yourself?
My name is
Yeah.
Neil
Park.
Yeah, Neil.
Yeah.
I'm very unique
Yeah.
and I'm amazing.
Yeah.
I am
Put the thesaurus away.
fabulous.
Yeah.
I can describe myself like that.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Great. So you, I remember you have 2 boys, right?
Yes, I have.
And how old are they?
9 and 6, Korean counting, the 2011 and
Korean age.
2014.
Right.
They are born.
Cool.
And how do you enjoy? How do you like raising 2 boys?
Just playing with them, just like reading books or just like tag and run and tag.
Playing tag. Yeah.
Play tag, yes, something
Playing
like
tag.
that.
I have 2 girls. My girls are 6 and 4. Brian's got a boy and a girl. But usually when I see the families with 2 boys, they're pretty wild.
Yes, right.
Are your
Right.
boys wild and crazy like that? Are
Yes,
they
right.
are they high energy and require a lot of
Yeah.
yeah?
Lots of skinship or lots of the wrestling.
Wrestling,
or-
yeah.
Skinship? What's that?
Using the physical
Yeah.
exercise, something like
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
It's.
touching, hugging father.
I had such a funny thought yesterday when
Yeah.
my boy always, Dad, let's wrestle. And, when we're wrestling, it's my thought of wrestling. I wrestled in high school. My thought of wrestling is slamming someone on the ground, pinning them, rolling them.
Yeah.
But our wrestle is like a tickle fight. So I had a funny thought yesterday. If I send him to wrestling school, I'm gonna put him in a match or with the teacher, and I can imagine his first match where he lays down on the ground and he just starts tickling the guy. He's like, "What are you doing?" He starts pinching his legs and
Yeah.
we're wrestling. Like, dude, that's not wrestling. I don't want to crush his dreams of.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah. It's fun, man. They enjoy, and I think the kids need. I think the kids need that kind of rough. They
Right.
need that rough play. It's a way of bonding for guys, right?
Their age is
Yeah.
And I have 2 girls, but I also like roughhousing and I wrestle with my daughters all the time.
Really?
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you?
Sure.
Daughter too.
I don't know. In our family, we have 5 kids. It used to be pretty rough for everybody. But the kids seem a little bit soft these days. And the littlest thing, I like that my daughter can kind of get hurt, and if I laugh, she laughs. But if I go, "Oh my God," then she'll start crying and go, "Oh my God." So I think letting them know that it's okay to bump your head, or it's okay even if you get a little cut, or those things are okay. And when they see, I got this one cutting dinner last night
No way.
on my finger, it bled a lot, and they said, "Oh," and I said, "It's fine. It doesn't hurt. It's fine. It's okay." I think to teach them those things is good because it makes them
Just
complain
less-
less or a little bit, less needy.
Yes.
That they're not always saying, and to just instill in them a little bit of toughness because you need it.
It's
The
where-
world's not an easy place.
It's where you set your bar for pain or for if you show a doctor a little cut, he's not gonna have that huge overreaction. He knows it's not
reaction
nothing.
is important.
And sometimes I think maybe my wife's not used to it, or maybe I don't know if it's common in Korean culture or not, but my wife thinks lots of times I'm playing too hard with them, or I'm too tough on them, or I bug them too much. But they need to hear that sometimes. They can't go through being princesses. They're going to get shocked once they get to an age where, they're not the princesses anymore, and people start bugging them.
What do you? I can see that happening now. Everywhere you go, it's not. people don't a 4-year when my son was 4 or when he is now, when he's 4 years old, you go around, everyone wants to touch him, you're so cute, and now he's less special, he looks like a regular kid. Well, not really, but a regular kid only half white. But I think we're of the very same mind of, I don't want to give my kids anything for free. They need to work for everything, and it's not a free ride of, you can live here as long as you want and your only job is studying. I think that mindset is bullshit. I can't disagree with it more. It's important. I think studying is important and giving them that good education foundation, but that's not the only way to live life. And I mean, I think you're. I don't know. What's your thought on that?
My kids can live at home as long as they want, but after
Not mine.
they finish school, they got to pay rent,
Uh-huh.
and that'll probably force them out. So I mean, if there's you
But it
can
depends.
say not mine, but it depends on their situation.
Yeah.
And if they're studying for a PhD and they honestly can't afford living outside, then it's a different story. Yeah. But my kids can live at home as long as they want, but if they're not studying or going to school, then they'll be paying rent because they'll have a job, so they should pay rent. But if the housing costs have ballooned so much that they have to live in a Goshiwan, maybe it's better they live at home.
Yeah.
The difference is, Western people and Koreans like we didn't like that. This is my son or my daughter.
Yeah.
So we care. So we don't want them independent sometimes like that.
But that hurts them in the end.
Yeah.
That hurts. That will. I think. I don't know. My kid's only 7. Who knows? But my opinion is, if you, the more you give them, the less they have to work for, and the less you're taking opportunities away for them to learn and to grow as a person.
Right.
You need. How many times I let my kid fall down and he has to stand up by himself? Why? Because if I'm there to pick him up, he's gonna assume there's always gonna be someone there. You got to learn to pick yourself up, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think for your boys is, where do you see going, or what do you see going forward, and how much do you take care of them or protect them or helicopter dad them or?
So I just want to support them. If they ask something, so I want to
Buy me a
give
car.
them. So something like that. But
Jesus, buy me a car.
yes, something like that. if I can do, but if I cannot do, I will give them the goal. So this is our what we need that budget, so we can save money like that. So we can go together.
Okay.
So I can. I want to teach them how to live or how to solve that problem.
So how do you do that?
So get together. Like if I have money, so at this moment I bought for you, but I cannot do that. But and then I can give them score and.
But Daddy, you have a credit card. They're smart.
Yeah.
They're not stupid. They're smart.
Yeah.
They know.
So
it's not like before where you actually had money. Now nobody uses money.
Yeah.
And especially in Korea, I mean, most people just use their phones and maybe a card now. So I find it's hard to teach them about money.
Yeah.
But when my daughter gets the $10 bills from grandma or someone else, she brings it home. She gets 10 ones and she puts 8 in the piggy bank,
right.
1 in her purse, and she has to give 1 away.
Yeah.
And that's how I try to teach her about money responsibility.
Yeah. Good point.
But she never sees mom and dad with money. So I think it's very different.
Is she giving that chun to We Hope or what?
But she can pick. She can give it to her sister. She can give it to her cousin, her mom, grandma, whoever. But she should give 1 away. I hope that will create a feeling of giving to someone in need or giving to someone who you think deserves it or needs it. But if you go to Home Plus or Costco and your son says, "Daddy, I want a scooter,"
Yeah, I bought that. But your point is very good to learn, and also sometimes like a bicycle. My 2 boys want to buy bicycle, so I want a bicycle, but so I take the envelope like that the socks. So I put the envelope. So our ball is a bicycle. The budget is 170,000 won. So every day I put 10,000.
Okay.
And what about them?
So later on, they close.
That is, I mean, that is.
Yeah. So
They
I
understand
don't
it's not
totally,
instant
yeah.
gratification.
yeah.
That's the delaying. That's another one. You've read the book "Don't Eat the Marshmallow Yet."
Yeah, right.
Do you know
Marshmallow.
the book called "Don't Eat the Marshmallow Yet"?
I don't know that.
It
book.
just it touches on delayed gratification, where if
good
the
point.
longer they do a test with kids, and basically the longer the kid can wait, the longer the kid can delay their gratification, the better off kind of they'll be.
You can have this cookie right now,
Yeah.
or if you can wait 10 minutes and not touch it, you can have 2.
Wow, that's a good point. Yeah.
But
10
a
minutes
lot,
later,
a lot of,
wait 10 minutes.
Many people can't
but
do
yeah,
it.
but a lot of the kids they grab that first marshmallow. They want what they see now, right?
I need this.
Yeah.
Do you do that as well for food and stuff? Daddy, I want a snack. Okay,
Yes.
pot up right away.
But my wife opinion is opposite. But in case of me, I did that instantly. Usually.
Oh, you give instantly?
Yeah, but now I could learn from you too.
Did
Yeah.
your parents do that for you as a child?
No.
Because for me, one of the interesting parts is that you guys grew up in a very poor Korea,
Yes, right.
where you didn't have access to all of these toys and goodies and snacks and instant gratifications. And
That-
so I don't know if you think that I don't want my kids to live how I did because it was pretty tough. I want them to have everything, or if it's something else.
Something different. So it is totally opposite. So when I was child, I couldn't have anything ever
Yeah.
because my father wants to save money for me.
Yeah.
So doesn't want to allow to have snacks or the toys because later on when you grow up, I will give you this something.
Yeah.
At the moment, I couldn't eat the snack.
But the thing is, like, for their generation, you saw your dad work hard
Yeah.
and save money,
Yeah.
but your kids didn't, right?
Yes.
So you got to think now, when your kids are looking at you,
Yeah.
they didn't see that. Your kids didn't see your father sacrifice everything
Yeah.
to give you a head start in life.
Yeah.
And if you're comfortable now, maybe they always
Yeah.
assume, oh, this is how life is. Like, oh, I want a bike. Oh, I'll wait 2 weeks. I'll wait. And I don't worry so much about their generation. Might be a little spoiled, but it's a generation after that's that's just gonna sit back and like a 17th century French king. I don't want to move. Just bring everything to me. You know.
Which is the knock on these next generations of children, which is not always true, but it seems that way to lots of people from our generation. But
Okay, so me, I want to. If I am a child, I want to do like. I want my father to do like that. So so I want snack.
Yeah.
Want snack.
Yeah.
Sure. Give me something. So that's why I did to my child. And
Yeah.
so instead of me, I came back to my child. So
Living vicariously through your
yeah, so
children.
that's what I mean. You want your child to have what you didn't have.
Yes, right, exactly. And also
That's
one more-
every generation's
Yeah.
hope, right? You want your children to have a little more than you did. Yeah.
Yeah. In addition, your delaying is good. So
Delaying the gratification.
Yeah. Delaying, pardon?
Gratification.
Gratification.
Yeah.
Price.
The happiness.
Delay
yeah.
the price. Delay the happiness.
Right.
The
I want a cookie. Poof, parodilla, you give to them, and then it's
not good.
then they kind of expect that.
everything they want right away.
But think it's
Yes.
conditioning. If you want to look at it like if you're training a dog, you tell him to sit down. When he sits, you get the cookie. It's the same thing with people.
Yeah.
On some level, we are pretty
That's
we are
very
pretty basic, right?
important
Yeah.
instruction.
But it's hard, and you probably can attest to it being a teacher before being a teacher, that the children want it at school all the time.
Yeah.
Teacher! they want, you have to answer within a millisecond or people are frustrated.
Yeah.
If somebody bugs you or someone takes something or they want it fixed right away. They
Yeah.
can't wait or,
Yes.
it's hard for them to process and to problem solve on their own. They want someone to come and interject and fix the problem right away. And it's annoying being in the education industry, how
Yeah.
short, what do you call it? Short fuse or short wick the kids are for anything and everything. And I really don't like seeing it in my daughters. So I try and combat it all the time, but my wife is like you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wah! Okay, here, eat this, be quiet. Oh my God! I think that's the worst thing that you can do.
One step
Or-
forward, 10 steps back.
I say go to your bedroom, come out when you're happy,
Uh-huh.
and it's either stay in your bedroom by yourself or come out and enjoy family time. Up to you.
Yeah, right.
So
Good point.
what? Oh, go ahead.
Go for it. I was gonna say, since you start talking about teaching there, you what made you want to get into teaching, into the teaching profession originally?
In fact, frankly,
Yeah.
my father.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
let me
Oh,
guess.
yeah.
My
Your
father-
parents told
yeah,
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I graduate high school, we have chance like a set that we call the sunung.
Sunung, yeah.
So
A standard academic test.
yeah. So I got the grade, and then I can apply this, but I couldn't apply by my will. So my father chose this university, this major, this so.
So based on your score, this will determine your
Yeah.
your university choice or your university
So
criteria.
I couldn't dream when I
What was
from
your-
middle school students. I want to be this more like a scientist or
Yeah.
doctor or something like that. I couldn't dream.
So do you mean you were limited by your test score or limited by your father's
Father's
choice
will.
for you?
My father's will.
choice.
Ah, okay.
But he think this is for my son.
Right.
Okay.
He thinks it's best for you.
Because this is teacher stable, and if
Yeah.
you get married with a female teacher, so we got another money. And
Is that expectation that you marry a female teacher?
that's my father's expectation.
But it happens lots. It happens lots. All of my wife's friends who are teachers are married to teachers.
yeah.
So I wonder if you're a male teacher. When I was at Oksancho, there was only like 7 males and 55 females.
Yeah, right.
So there's a good chance that you're gonna marry a teacher because you're always around female teachers.
Yeah.
So is that expected from when you were trying to be a teacher until now still, or is that just a coincidence?
That's their expectation. But in case of me, I'm unique, so I don't want to get married with a female teacher because they treat husband like a kid. Yeah.
Are you talking about Nate's wife?
And also, I don't want to just a stable life. So, and female teacher has they're unique.
Yeah.
The how they
They're unique.
잔소리.
Sorry, they're nagging.
Yeah.
They're nagging.
Like,
Are they notorious naggers?
Yeah, and also, but if their relationship is good,
You remember my wife's a teacher, right?
yeah, but she's very awesome. She's a good teacher.
She's
The
also
best-
unique.
She's the best
Really?
nagger?
Well, she married a foreigner, of course. She must be unique.
When
Most teachers' dads don't dream their son or daughter is going to marry a Weigugin.
really?
What do you think?
I'm okay. Multicultural in the
No, but
international.
your father.
My
His
father,
dream was you're going to marry a Korean teacher,
yes, right, exactly.
not
That's what-
an
that's
American teacher.
what- No.
Okay, so that's why I'm saying my wife is unique because her father also didn't dream that she was going to marry a Canadian teacher. So she also went outside of the box, and that makes her a little unique too, probably.
But in case of that matter is different because you are very good person. So maybe she and her father moved because I felt too.
Her father was
She's
moved
different.
to hunt me down in the beginning.
Really good father, good daddy, and good husband.
I had to go on my knees. And read a letter of promise that I was going to marry his daughter, stay in Ulsan, and everything was going to be okay before he gave me any kind of acceptance to marry his daughter. But I think I've said on other ones that he used to hate me, and he wouldn't come to any family functions if I was going. We share the same birthday, my wife and I, and he wouldn't come to our birthday dinner. He wouldn't come to anything. But then we got married, and now he's my best buddy.
That's fine.
Now he's my makali partner and farming.
Really?
I'm his farmhand, and makali, and Brian likes to come for boshingtang sometimes.
Okay, additional, you are really good son-in-law.
but that wasn't what it was always like. The beginning was very difficult
Yes.
compared to
Right?
what it is now. It's no
Yeah,
problem. Yeah, it's great.
Anyways, getting back into teaching. Looking back, was your dad's recommendation
Yes.
a good fit for you? Were you happy as a teacher?
My father there's 4 options.
Yeah.
And he gave me opportunity to choose. among that four.
For universities, you mean?
Four major.
For majors.
4 university and 4 major.
What were they?
Kindergarten, Chodanhakyo, Junhakyo, high school.
Veterinarian.
The veterinarian, the
Animal doctor.
animal doctor,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know that English term, but physical. If your body, the bone is
Physical
is
therapist.
physically ill, so
PT?
can
무리
help
치료?
exercise- Yeah, 무리 치료.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yeah.
physical
Chiropractic.
therapy.
Oh,
Physical
therapy.
therapy.
Yeah. And second, third one is a teacher. What was the last?
Taxi driver.
Kanpe.
Okay, I have to remember.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
So
Cool.
they kind of that, but only teacher is in Busan,
Oh,
and
okay.
the other is something Daegu or
Okay, okay.
the Jinju thing.
So you stayed- you
I want to
stayed-
stay in Busan.
Okay, so you stayed at home while you studied?
Actually, I want to go to Seoul,
Yeah.
but my father doesn't give me the opportunity.
Yeah.
So I have a question. At that time, Korea is hyper competitive for these things. The test is so important. What kind of score did you need to get into education, university, or teaching
Yeah.
college in Korea? What kind of score on the Sunung did you need?
Oh, every time is different, so I don't know exact the score now, but at the time there is the table like that. So this university you should on this grade,
Right.
this
Yeah.
grade, this score, something like that. So if I get that score, the pre-test, the just not the Sunung one.
Yeah.
Every month we did.
Okay, okay, yeah.
So now I can go to this university. Now I can go to this university.
And you went to Busan Gyode?
Actually, I didn't want to Busan Gyode, so I want to go to Seoul.
But that's where you went, Busan Gyode?
Yes,
Right?
yeah, right.
A few of my students now, a few of my older students, their children are getting into teaching. One lady was so happy that her son received a job, I think after he graduated, and within a year he had his full-time job, and she was so happy. And I thought, well, I know teaching is very competitive to get in at home. In your cohort or your generation, was it as competitive as it is now? Was it when you were trying to get a job? Was it as difficult to become a teacher then as it is now? Was it very
All
competitive?
the time difficult.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Interesting.
I think any gongwon
Yeah,
position,
Oh, okay, okay.
any civil servant position is the hardest ones to get into.
yeah, and also after IMF the period.
Yeah.
So it was getting more higher.
More difficult?
Yeah, it's a higher levels, but after IMF things, getting higher, and economic crisis, higher.
Oh, okay.
This offer actually the government the official and the teacher is okay, but government official we call it the 공무원 is not our aim to focus. So we should came like the venture, the CEO, something like that.
Okay,
That
okay.
is good for our the healthy economy in South Korea. But
Is it
every younger people want to go to 공무원.
Civil
this
servant.
This is offer.
Because it's stable.
Yeah.
It's the only
Yeah.
it's the only guarantee almost
Yeah,
that is stable.
is there any advantages to being a male teacher? Is it easier? Is there an easier route? I mean, at home, yeah.
If total or average is like this point, but we are the base grade. So female when we go into the university,
Yeah.
if the top the 3/4 is female. The
bottom quarter is the males. Okay,
lower,
okay.
the bottom quarter is.
But is there a number that the universities have to take, or that the Gyeongchang, the school boards have to take of male teachers, or no?
They have the
A quota?
a quarter, a quarter. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
a quarter.
But
the
in
quarter
case-
is a quarter.
Yeah. In case of 교육청, the educational office, they don't have that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
If
They hire the best
they
the best
just
teacher.
according to their score.
Oh, okay.
But in case of university students, it's have like a quarter.
What about sorry, one more thing about teaching. When you're applying to be a teacher after you've passed your sunung and your university, when you're applying to 교육청 for a job,
yeah.
what is the interview process like, or what is the hiring process like? Do they look at your score and say, "Oh, you got 90, you can"?
No.
Is there interviews? Is there background checks?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So,
Keep going.
health check and the criminal check and the documents, and documents is like two things, just like a student score and their high school score, the two parts, and also no, not high schools, the universities scores.
Okay.
And also the other is interview, but the interview has two sessions.
Okay.
One is demonstrating the lesson. And the other is just like a in-person
Face-to-face,
like that.
Cool. Very nice.
And when you got into teaching, which would have been, I guess, many years, 15 years ago, probably. What was it? Was it what you expected? Was it very different? I mean, Korea is a lot of the business culture around the big companies, the Hyundai, SK, LG. Right. They have very strict kind of business culture and hierarchy that everyone follows. Was it like that? Did you expect it? What was it like in the school system when I worked? Right. Again, there was maybe 7 or 8 teachers. Yeah. But the men went out drinking 3 or 4 times a week. Yes. Which was very company-esque culture. Yes. But they were civil servants in the school system, and the women never went out. And so for me, it was surprising that one, the principals were always male, and the vice principals were usually male. There were some when I was in, there was some female. Now I know it's changed now. There's lots of female. Right. But most of the principals and vice principals were male, and they went out drinking, and they summoned the male teachers many times. They come and say, "Hey, Nate, today we're going drinking." And I said, it's 5 o'clock, and nobody told me about it. Was this planned? Nobody told me about it.
Bunge.
So, can you just talk a little bit to the idea of how the culture is different for male and female teachers, maybe?
What, female teachers not invited to the 회식?
Never.
Actually,
twice a year. Yeah,
we invite to all.
Yeah.
But female teachers doesn't. I think doesn't care. So just they are the private, the schedule, private things is more important than the school's things. Yeah. But
I think a lot of the male teachers have that feeling too.
Doesn't do like the female teachers. So just follow the boss.
So that's what I mean. It's like the company. For male teachers, it's almost like a company. For me, most of the female teachers were going home to take care of their kids and make dinner and take care of their children. Yes. But the male teachers never told me, "Oh, Nate, I can't go tonight. I have to go take care of my kids." Yeah. They just say, "Yes, yes."
Right. Yes, man.
Why is it so different?
I don't know exactly, but I guess we have kind of team split. We are team.
But there's probably just an understanding, So an understanding and a traditionalism that females are the home. What am I trying to say?
But for me, it was the homemakers.
Homemakers, that's homekeepers.
But for me, like, that was the funny part. Lots of these guys are married to teachers, but they still expect breakfast to be made for them. They still expect dinner to be made for them, and they still expect their wife to be understanding that they're going to go drinking 3 times a week.
Yeah. But maybe if she's a teacher, she understands that the principal is kind of twisting his arm to go.
But at the same time, you're not a CEO or a president or a worker for SK or Samsung. So you're a teacher, and you have the same job as me. So how about you make breakfast then? Or why do they expect the wife to do all the homemaker duties and work the same job they do? And they say, "Oh, I'm tired. But they, in my experience, most of them only teach. Yes. And they get to go drinking.
They should be.
So it's kind of having your cake and eating it too. And they expect their wives to understand that part.
The male teachers have many expectations from the others, like a wife and the principal and the other colleagues too. Not only the basic one, the social one, but also school assignments too. So in case of many difficult or hard, the assignments is the male teacher care. I have to.
Don't tell my wife that.
Female teacher also have difficult one though.
But not as hard. There's only 5 or 6 male teachers. They can't take all the difficult jobs.
Yeah. So and also they look forward for their promotion. After 30 years later, I can be a principal. I can be a supervisor.
So males,
that's their
more inclined to to do the extra work to get the promotion.
So how would that change now these days? There's many female principals and vice
Yes,
principals now.
right.
How does that change? You must have some colleagues that are still teaching.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to my wife about it, but now if the female principal doesn't go out drinking and call for the 회식, the men have to go home and take care of the kids, or what happens?
They gotta cook breakfast. Ramen sales have spiked.
The 회식 is not the factor of being the principal though, but now many female teacher also want to go to 회식. So
Really?
yes, it's if that unique the one or two female teacher maybe have plan or dream to be a principal.
Yeah.
So they get into the want to be a principal is here. Okay. Oh, now I came. I'm different, and I can follow your order what you want. So
interesting.
So and getting
The subordinate.
Yeah. Not the whole the female teachers.
Just some.
Yeah.
Cool.
They're different. So
When you're teaching in a school, who was most difficult to deal with? Was it your co-teachers? Was it the students or the administration?
Or the parents?
Or I never even considered that.
Actually, colleague.
Your colleagues were most
not
difficult.
for me, but they have many arguments sometimes between the female teachers. So
What would they argue about? I mean, if they're teaching different classes, what is a typical argument
I
between?
don't know, but they have like a female, but something doesn't fit their the thinking.
Oh, okay,
way
okay.
of thinking.
Okay,
so
okay.
they
About like teaching methodology, or what are they?
between teachers they
Yeah.
have bullying.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And is that bullying based on like the company's age, seniority, and your rank, or is it based on your ability or your skill, or
Based on their character. Like if most of the female teacher doesn't want to follow the principal's the order or the instruction, but some only few want to follow. Oh, principal, oh, you are awesome, and then
Right.
if we do that like that,
right.
the other all the female teacher, she want to
Shut up! What are you doing?
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're making
the mole? Aren't there TV shows about that at home?
The brown
But that's
noser.
that's every company, every place you go in life. That's life. I mean, that's what it's like. I have one specific incident that I recall that you might be able to speak to, about the drinking thing. We used to drink at school
Yes.
on Wednesday.
so casual as he sips his coffee.
On Wednesdays,
Yes.
on Wednesdays, school finishes early, and the teachers have team building, right? So we would play volleyball or kickball,
Yeah.
and all the teachers would come down for the first 20 or 30 minutes, and say hi and make sure the principal sees you, and then most of them would leave. Only the players would stay, and after that, everybody would drink.
Yes.
And there was soju, I've seen wine, beer, and the kind of athlete teachers or whoever was playing with the men, they would enjoy some drinks, and there was kids, like we were in the courtyard. We weren't in the gymnasium. We were in the courtyard, and kids would be walking home after school.
Yeah.
And they go, teacher! I say, cheers! I'm drinking with the principal in Korea. I was young.
Yeah.
But that blew my mind that we could drink at school. And every office's fridge had beer and soju in it.
Yeah. Your cultural shock is that.
Every office's fridge had beer and soju in it.
But that's, I think, again, coming from Canada and America, when you view alcohol, it's funny, maybe here too, but in my mind, that's like step one to blackout. Like, this is the fire I'm gonna throw on the.
Creates problems.
Yeah, this is the gas I'm gonna throw on the party.
So that's why I can't believe we drink it in Korea.
But I mean, go to. I've never been. I've heard in South America, in Europe. I mean, a German engineer on lunch is gonna go to the vending machine that's in his company. He's gonna have a casual beer during not all beers.
What
end
he's
up
saying
being-
is Canadians and Americans are very irresponsible.
Yeah.
or just extreme. I mean, tell how many I can count the number of times, and looking back, I think, what was I doing? But this was the culture. It was you never had one beer or two beers. A friend told me, I swear to God, we were 20 years old playing poker in my buddy's basement, and he said to me, and it didn't click until I was like 30. He's like, can't you just have a casual beer? And at that time, I swear to God, until I was 30, I never thought, hey, let's sit down and have a couple casual drinks. It was, let's start drinking and who knows what's going to happen later, you know? And it was wild.
That's why for me it was also surprising because I knew these guys went drinking 3 nights a week and I was like, wow, we're starting at 2:00 in school? This is going to be a long night.
Yeah.
Did you ever drink at school? What was it like? Did you ever, I mean, as a young teacher, you must have been shocked, no?
Basically, in case of Korean school system, the principal is king of that kingdom.
Oh, okay.
So if a principal like that drinking,
Yeah.
or if a principal like the the ghost of
Yeah.
things,
Poker.
they use they get it into the
School.
the
teacher's culture,
The
yeah.
principal is like. So in case of that, I guess the principal think after we drink, we can be united.
Concrete
Wow.
relationships.
Yeah, right.
But that's Korea. That's business culture as well. You can't. You're very hard pressed to make a deal
But I
without
think
getting
business is different. That's
mashed.
dollars and cents. School, you're a civil servant working on people's
Yeah.
tax dollars,
Yearly, yeah.
and you're role models for the children. So I think it's a little bit different. Did you ever partake in those activities at school? Did you ever drink at your schools or no?
I did. I did it drink not only myself. So for the public, the principal or most of the majority want to drink like
Enjoy a
that.
little bit, yeah.
I enjoyed it during the working time also.
Yeah. But I mean, even working at the college I used to be at, we went for all the new professors were there, and we went for a lunch. And one of the senior teachers had 2 casual beers and I mean, totally red faced. And
Right.
do you want some beers? I gotta teach later. Oh, it's okay. I'm like, but I drove here. Don't worry about it. I'm like, man, listen, I'm not drinking and driving on my way back to school. I just got this job.
I don't
Leave me
like
alone.
that peer pressure that they try and put on you. Like, it's not middle school or high school. We're grown men.
Yeah.
I don't need you to twist my arm. If I say no, it means no. And at the big dinners where all the teachers would go twice a year, the women would come.
Yeah.
All the teachers would come, and yeah, I mean, everybody's twisting everyone's arm to drink, and like, well, half of them are driving; they can't drink. But the principal, and anyways, it's relaxed much more now. It's much better. But do you know what the turning point was in Ulsan for this? I don't believe there's any drinking in schools now.
Oh really? Oh.
Was my school when they opened the new gymnasium, the Cheukwan, and they sent the kids home early. Do you remember this story?
No, I don't.
It was all over the news. They sent the kids home early in 2010. And they told the parents, sorry, we can't provide lunch today
Yes.
because the
We're
cafeteria is occupied for a huge opening ceremony for the new gymnasium.
Yes.
And all the principals from all over Ulsan come, of course, for those events.
Yes.
And the whole cafeteria was, your banchan or anju and peanuts and whatever, and soju and beer. And one of the parents took a picture. They sent the kids home with a piece of bread and a milk for lunch and said, sorry, we can't feed the kids today because we have this big event.
Our budget was spent on C1.
Please give them lunch. And they sent them home with nothing, milk and a piece of bread, early, not on a Wednesday, early. And then the news got a hold of it, and the parents went crazy and said, hey, this principal's nuts. He shut down school early for the kids, sent them home without a proper lunch. So him and his friends, which are 90% male, can drink soju at the school. And all of them drove to the school. That's what I didn't understand. The whole soccer field is full of cars.
That's a big Eastern.
So that was huge, and I think you might have been in Vietnam at that time. That was huge news. And that's what I think shut down the drinking because they said, hey, this has been normal for so long.
And that's, I mean, we were speaking earlier about drinking, and if you're getting into that routine, if you're drinking once a month or a few times a year, you know when things are gonna start getting crazy, and you can kind of put the brakes on it. But when it starts every day, that bar gets pushed a little more. You're a little bit looser. You're a little bit more free, and you're willing to test those limits more, right? So
before that instant, when we have drink at school, parents usually delivered the soju and makgeollis.
oh Jesus!
by their money. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Not the school budget. Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
So this is one of the parts I love about Korea. It changes so fast. And when they say dynamic Korea, it is dynamic. These things change on a dime. That parents delivering your soju to school was normal. Normal less than 10 years ago. And now you probably you probably lose your job if you get caught drinking soju at school.
I give my teacher a bottle of wine for Christmas one year, and I could never imagine he pops that at school and is cheersing the other, or giving kombe to his coworkers.
Hold the story. At the time, the parents go to the 노래방 too, with the teachers.
What's the
Like a domi.
Like a domi?
Yeah, like when the principal or the teachers are singing, the parents, female parents are like tambourines.
Okay.
Like North Korea. Like North Korea for Kim Jong-un.
At the Olympics. Now, what is the underlying intention of a parent going to a noraebang? Is it to impress the teacher, and then you will look favorably upon their children, or 그냥 they want to party?
Their expectation is like that.
Take care of my kids.
Yeah, please take care of my kids.
Does that affect you? Does that affect you as a teacher?
Not case of me. That is the older story. So my senior teachers told me like a legend. I did like this.
Okay.
They touch the breast of parents sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
Give Jimmy an A. Touch my. Jeez,
that was how you used to get into Seoul, and Yonsei in Korea.
Oh my God, that's awful.
Really?
Yes.
But I mean,
not,
how many
not
years?
the outside, the inside.
Inside.
Yes.
Because they want.
Yes. So
can you imagine?
Maybe they have good fellowship, good friendship though. But
good skinship.
Yeah.
But they both also have husbands and wives.
Sure.
That's insane.
So it doesn't matter how good your relationship
after
is.
they're drinking. So he said to me, I did like this, and he touched it. So this is normal thing.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, for those of you that aren't from here or haven't been here, the skinship, the touching and stuff is very friendly here. The principals used to rub my leg all the time. And when I had business classes, they drink and they start rubbing. I say, hey, Mr. Kim, stop touching me. Listen, get your arms and your hands off of me. I'm not your wife.
Dude.
But it's a very touchy-feely culture. And you see the middle school girls together and the middle school boys together. They're always touching and picking each other's hair.
Listen, I go to the same sauna every day. I do, what do you call it? Like the, what's the scrub called?
the Demiri.
The Demiri agency. Listen, he is the nicest guy, and if he wasn't, I would have knocked him out. I was just taking a shower. Like, I've seen this guy every day for the past 3 years. Just taking a shower, he came up and pinched my ass. My bare ass. He pinched my bare ass. Why? And just went, hi, Brian, how are you? Like, dude, if you weren't so smiley and happy, I'd knock you out.
But come on, that's kind of like the hockey dressing room or something where you smack a guy in the bum and stuff.
When you're not expecting it and just this 50-year-old dude just pinches your ass, dude,
but isn't
fire
that his,
inside me.
Hey, buddy, good morning, how you doing?
I didn't know it was him at first. I turned around, I was like, and I was still a little bit choked. I was like, dude, don't touch me. Even my partner listen, I've worked out with this guy almost every day for over a decade. Sometimes we're sitting in the sauna and he'll pinch my side and be like, oh, no fat, or oh, looking good. I'm like, dude, don't touch me. We both don't have clothes on. There's not it's so uncomfortable. I hate people touching me, man.
But it's the same when my shock the first times at the sauna when guys would come and try and rub your back and scrub your back for you. I say, hey, Agency, look, I have arms and I can reach my back. I can do it, thanks. And I don't need a random guy coming to wash me. But that's our homophobia or our we're not cultured in that kind of stuff.
Anyways, back to the teacher grabbing the mom's breast. There's so many ways this could be interpreted. We're kind of laughing, but I wonder if it's the teacher could be like the super biante, taking advantage of the mom. The mom could have these intentions of, I need to all do anything to
help my kids succeed.
Yeah, to help my kids succeed. Or the mom could be looking for a thrill. Who she could have a bad relationship with her, and that's her way of.
How long ago do you think that stuff was going on?
The instant? Wow.
Yeah.
That was
Nothing that
2017.
instant. Maybe,
Early 2000s.
I guess 2001 and 2.
So
That's still modern day for me, yeah.
Not that long ago.
When you first said it, I thought like 1970.
But thinking how much Korea changes year on year, it's not
Now,
surprising at all.
actually, They cannot do that.
Yeah, it's not surprising at all.
Yeah.
So
Can you imagine going and trying to rub your student's mom's breast? Listen. Jimmy's he's got a C in math. B. A plus.
yeah, but yeah, and that's
We shouldn't laugh about that.
that's why I find that living in Korea is always interesting for me. I'm always learning, and growing up in Canada, maybe I was accustomed. I saw, and I don't mean I know everything from my grandfather's days, but I've been able to follow everything growing up. It was kind of normal or natural to me, but here I still find interesting, shocking, intriguing things all the time.
Yeah.
And that's part of why I enjoy living here, that I can always be learning something new still, even after such a long time.
Yeah.
One more thing on the school thing before we move on. The gift giving. You were just talking about doing favors for trying to get scores and bringing soju or bringing... God, if that's all it was, I'd be bringing soju too. If you're going to give my kid an A+ to get into thing, I don't mean me. I mean if I was the Korean parent, where education is so important and your university is so important and your high school. I mean, that would seem so easy if someone said, "Hey, all you got to do is bring him some soju, and your kid will start getting good grades. They'll be going to Seoul and Yonsei." But I mean, I think it defeats the purpose. Like your kid goes to Seoul and fails. You can't give soju to the guy in Seoul. I mean, it stops at some point, and reality hits. But the gift giving has always been a huge a problem.
Yeah.
And recently they have what's Kim Young-nam?
Yeah. Kim Young-nam. Yeah.
The new law. I think that's curbed lots of it. I think that's done a really good job in a lot of ways.
Yes.
But in your early days, it must have been... I don't know if you were one of the accepting ones or not, but my wife still says that some teachers still accept gifts. And people know, the parents know, she likes gifts.
Yes.
And they give them.
Yes.
I think the rule used to, before the Kim Young-nam rule, it used to be shimanon. Right?
No, sam.
Before that.
Right.
Yes.
It
Right?
used to
Originally
be,
shimanon?
It used to be shimanon. Over shimanon was considered kind of bribery.
Yeah. Right.
But my wife would get stuff like, say, a Chanel perfume or something. That might be $200, but and my wife will say, "Sorry, no, that's way too much. I'm not accepting it."
Got it at duty
and
free.
the mom will show duty free, 50% off, SK savings card, $99.99.
Wow.
And and they'll say, no, it's okay. Look, I didn't pay more than $100.
Yeah.
And
Okay, thanks.
but this is what I mean. They would go to extreme lengths to do the most that they could without doing too much or getting in trouble. And now it's 30, which you can't get much for 30, but I'm sure parents are still doing it.
Yeah.
This is from duty free. This is from the Super Halin sales shop.
Yeah.
It was Shibomanon and now it's Sammanon. And so
In my world, I like to believe that teachers are internally motivated and they want all of their students to succeed. There's some asshole kids you don't want them to. No, I'm joking.
I don't know. When we were kids, I used to bring cookies, a coffee mug.
Yeah.
Because
For Christmas, you give them a bottle of wine.
Only
or,
for
yeah.
Christmas.
Yes.
In elementary school, you didn't bring a bottle of wine. Did
I
you?
did too.
Really?
Absolutely.
Well,
My dad worked at a winery.
okay. Well, that's. My dad worked at the Grain Commission. Here's a bag of oats. So we would bring these. We would cook cookies at home, and I do it with my kids now.
Yeah.
We make cookies at home. They bring them for teacher, a bag or a box for teacher, and for their kids to share. But I would never be jewelry and just straight cash envelopes,
Like
perfumes. And as private teachers, we used to get from our kids, the moms would give me $150 colognes and $100 or $200 neckties,
Shirts, yeah.
all kinds of stuff we used to get. And then maybe I'm not as good a teacher anymore, but I don't get that kind of stuff anymore. I think the whole perception, the culture has changed.
Yes.
But what was it like from the beginning of your career to the end of your teaching career and now with your kids in school?
Yeah.
Do you deliver soda? Do you bring the gifts? Do you do that?
Right. as you mentioned, now many updates.
Yeah,
many
yeah.
updates. Now they do. I guess they don't do that nowadays.
Yeah.
But when I came, as I becoming the teacher, I decided not to receive because there is many mood like that. So I decided.
Ah,
not
that
to
was
receive. But
so. That was the
my
there was a changing. There was a transitioning point.
Yes, right.
And kind of new teachers coming up.
Yeah,
You were
so
you kind of stood
I
above
want
and
to
looked down and
be
said like,
innocent.
But that was your decision.
I mean, that's my only decision. But the other is not like that.
so do you
So I saw.
do you tell parents? Do you tell parents?
I tell parents and students to at the
First day.
for first day of the semester. So they after a year, the other parents know this teacher doesn't receive
Right.
anything. So
Because they talk. And now it's the opposite. Now 99% of the teachers don't take it,
And
but
they
there
talk
is
about the teacher
1%
that
that do, and they say, hey, Kim teacher takes presents, so make sure you give it, or she's not going to treat your kid well.
Really?
Now it's probably the opposite of when you started.
That's insane.
So the teachers receive a lot. So
For like what, for example?
Cash?
like 스승의 날, the Teachers' Day.
Yeah.
That's main point of the receiving the gifts from parents. So they offer to the teachers many ways through their child or in person at afternoon or the calling and something like that. And but after the Teachers' Day, they have a gathering. So from class 1 to class 14, the teachers is like this.
It's a pissing contest.
Yes, my gift is like this. Your gift is like this. And they check each other.
You were good.
And then they make a separate tents like that, and to the principal because principal doesn't.
That's like
He's not a teacher.
Principal doesn't teach. As a parent, maybe a representative of parents can be given just one present.
Right, the parent council
so
chief would give the something.
Grade 6 teachers gather this one to the principal.
It's like a tax.
Grade 6. Okay, you will.
That's a racket. He's like the gun pay. You pay me 10%. I'll keep you safe.
But that's and that was very rampant even when I was there. And then grade 5 teachers would get treated better, or they could get more benefits or better side jobs or whatever because. And that part of it is so interesting, and just the way that your reputation of what you did last year in terms of gift giving, gift getting, receiving, going for drinking parties, 회식s after work,
right,
totally affects next year when you say, I want to teach grade 4. And they say, no, you teach grade 1. You never came for a 회식. You never gave us any gifts.
Yes.
You don't even accept gifts, so that means I don't get any, so you're bad.
Oh.
So if the teacher receive any gifts from the parents, the teacher is on the power of parents. So also
absolutely, yeah.
Principal receive that gifts.
It's like getting help from the mafia.
Right.
Eh?
So
I was going to say that's why I don't want help from my mother-in-law because I feel like I'm under pressure from her to perform or do something. I don't want that, so I just tell no. I don't want assistance from.
I think in general, I don't know about you. I have a hard time accepting any gift. Like my in-laws wanted to when we got married. Like, let's buy you a fridge. I'm like, I got money, but
mafia money.
No. Like I can buy a fridge. Oh, but we want to. Let me buy you a water. I don't want it. I can buy.
And many parents, not only just the physical gifts, but also the
skinship.
paying the meals like that.
They send
the sushi one to the parents, to the head teacher. Oh, okay, I sent the sushi one to your.
Hey,
10.
I used to love the Primo Domino's pizzas, the sushis, the puffing suits.
Yes.
I used to love that when you come back from your class and they go, "Oh, Jiwon's mom ordered this." Oh,
yes, right.
Jiwon's mom, you're deadly.
Yeah, like that.
I wouldn't favor the kid. I just think. And you know when it's a bad kid's mom, it happens where I'm working now. Where I'm working now, I went in the other day, a week ago, and the 6 kids were all eating McDonald's, and I went, "Who brought McDonald's?" They said, "Oh, Bobby's dad bought McDonald's for all the kids." And I was like, oh, is Bobby a good kid? Because I remember Bobby, and he's a bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, that's his dad does it once a month to try and make sure that Bobby has friends and everyone's nice and whatever.
There was one. This kid, he was a 6-year-old terrorist, and on Teachers Day, he wasn't in he was in the other homeroom, but his dad came in with like $200. Like he bought new clothes. No, what was it? No, he gave each of the homeroom teachers. There was like a Korean and foreign homeroom teacher. He gave them each $200, and he's like, "I'm sorry about my kid." I swear, there's a full apology. Like, I know he's bad. I don't take care of him well, but and he paid. But they ended up buying the kid something with the money. But
the worst I do. I feel bad that I don't tie my girl's hair in the morning. I'll do a quick ponytail if it's possible.
You do.
I have, because my wife goes to work early every morning, so I have the girls every morning and I bring them to school.
Wow.
So I feel bad if I don't. I mean, if I get them dressed and breakfast and everything's in their bag that's supposed to be, that's a huge accomplishment. If I have time to tie their hair, that's a jackpot. But I feel bad that they come home after school and their hair looks like princesses. I mean, they got bobs and weaves and all kinds of things in their hair, and the teachers do such a great job. And then I wonder if they're teaching or they're just doing kids' hair all day.
No, they're
so
taking
pretty.
pictures all day. I get 700 pictures a day of my kids. They got a full-time photographer in there. It's unreal.
But the worst I do is if I'm at Costco on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, I'll get some donuts or cookies or whatever. And I really appreciate what they do for my 4-year-old, because, I mean, she can be pretty... I mean, those kids are needy, and sometimes they pee in their pants still, and I mean, they're always doing their hair and wiping their boogers, and God, I mean, having 2 kids, I mean, it's not easy, but imagine having like 10 of them or 8 or 12.
Yeah.
So I just hope that's, I mean, I'm not trying to bribe anyone with a $15 cookie pack from Costco, but I hope that they can appreciate that I do acknowledge and I do appreciate what they do, because I don't think I could do it full time all the time. I'd go crazy.
How about you? You have boy or daughter?
I got like our kids are the same age basically. So well, my kid son and daughter. So same age.
Okay, just one more on the family thing before we go on to maybe some Vietnam stuff. You said that your father gave you all this stuff and that you do have a tendency to provide quickly for your kids.
I should fix
the giving of the house, giving of a car and stuff. It was pretty normal for a long time, and it still is a little bit maybe, but the people just don't have the money. I think if the parents had the money, I think they would do it still.
Yeah.
Do you intend, or do you and your wife have a plan to give your kids an apartment or a house, or to spend your savings on their houses, or to pay for their university, or is that still common, or is that also changing quickly?
In case of me, I don't have plan about that. I want to give him have skills kind of this.
Yeah.
So you can survive like using this ability.
Yeah.
So I want to give that part is my point. Yeah. So if he likes fix something, so you can I can
encourage.
Encourage it, right?
That's the best way. Yeah. The old house I used to live at, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the nicest, newest place, but man, I worked really hard to earn that.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate it. And I think if it was given to me, I might say, "Oh, why do I got to live here? I don't have this or I don't have that." And I think getting a house given to you, I mean, maybe everyone's different. Maybe some kids can really appreciate it, but maybe on average that if you work for it yourself, you can appreciate it.
And also, I want to give them, my sons, the experience. Many experience.
Yeah.
I want to give, like, you can swimming.
Right.
I want to support that.
Yeah.
So that's part of what we were talking about earlier about creating the independence. I want those things for my kids. So I'm trying to teach them about money management and part-time work and alba, and we always talk about ways that our kids can make money. And we'll bring our kids to the Christmas event on the 21st. They can sell some cookies, get some yongton. But I think it's important for my kids to learn that you make your money and you don't just spend mommy and daddy's money. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
But if you're always giving when they want, and sometimes you put the envelope and do the saving thing, how do you teach the independence for them to be able to do those other than just the skills? Because if they make $100 and
Yes.
spend it on phone games,
Yes.
now they're going to be living at mom and dad's house till they're 40, playing phone games with all their salary.
At this moment, I don't focus on the independent things. I just focus on the being loved.
Yeah.
So whatever they want, Father gave you.
Yeah.
so that is they feel okay. My father and mother love me. So
Yeah.
later on, this is the age is just 9 and 6. So
Yeah.
maybe middle school students or high school students, I can teach it.
But that's in
Stop! Now it gets real.
Ah, really? Okay.
Nothing else for free.
Okay.
Starting next Tuesday, there's no
Okay.
breakfast. Dad, I'm
Wash the
hungry.
floors,
Yeah.
clean the toilets.
Okay.
No, but gradually you ease them into that. But I think too having a loving base that you can build from. You got your
I want to build
your hierarchy in life. You need food and water and a house and love, and then you can start doing the other things.
So you're like a all year round Santa Claus. Always giving. My kids know they gotta wait until December 25th, and they don't get much in between. Anyways, okay, let's move on. I mentioned a few times that you've been to Vietnam and you were working there a little bit. What made you decide to leave Korea? And I know the teaching profession can be high stress, and I know from working at the camps with you and stuff that there is a lot of stress and anxiety and tension amongst the relationships in the school or the hierarchy in the board of ed and stuff. What made you go, or what made you choose to go to Vietnam? And tell us what it was like there, where you worked. Was it similar to the culture in Korean schools, or was it very different?
Is it more like, I mean, like you said, high tension here? Is it more relaxed over there? Do people abroad care as much about fitting into the mold, or or having the highest grade as they do here?
The motive to move abroad is complex. Not just one the motivation. In case of my family,
I like salguksu. Let's go.
in case of my family, I have difficult time with my wife.
Yeah.
So I have with the another female teacher have some dating,
Relationship?
going out, something like that.
Yes.
So I want to stop that.
Oh, good. Yeah.
That is one point. And the other is if I try to go to abroad, I guess my wife will divorce with me. But I guess she didn't follow this decision, because whenever I choose she reject, just she do what she want. All the time I didn't
Is she a teacher?
feel respect from my wife. So
Is she a female teacher?
no, she's just
Sounds like it.
That's the description you told us about the female teacher.
so so that's one point. And also I apply. And also another thing is at school is supervisor at the Gangnam education office gave me a lot of assignments, and also not only her but also the other supervisors too. So they gave me a lot of assignments. So I want to avoid that assignments. Too much burden to me, and not only of education office but also schools.
Right.
They know me, cannot say no.
Because you're a male teacher.
And also
Hard worker.
additionally, so I cannot go back home 11 p.m.
Every day?
Oh.
every day. Not every day, but so when I at the school classroom, the light is on, but the security guard come in. Teacher, why don't you come back home? It's 11 o'clock. Oh, I will come back maybe 2 a.m. or something like that.
Wow.
Because there is many 회식 ones. So but
shit.
I think, what am I doing now? I don't earn money by this. But
Yeah. See, I think a lot of people don't have that realization. They just accept, like, this is my job, this is my life. That's good that you have that clicked in your head. You're like, this is crazy.
And the thing is, when you go out for Beshik, that takes away 5 hours of your work. So tomorrow you have double or triple the work.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
if
That's
you
why
didn't have Beshik, maybe you can go home at 8 o'clock every night.
Yeah.
But when you go for Beshik because you have to or you're supposed to,
Yes.
then you have to stay even later every
Yeah, I have
and it's
more assignment.
I mean, that's normal in companies and I mean, my wife doesn't even go for Beshik and she has to stay pretty late some nights. Usually not, but before we had kids and she was the single teacher, right? They just think, you have no kids, no responsibility, you can stay till 8 o'clock every night.
Yeah.
And they pile the work on those teachers. And the ones who have new kids, the ones who
get
are
married.
pregnant, the ones who got married, they get a little bit more leeway. But I think that's also changing now, right?
Yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff is changing lots, but so that was the driving force.
So I feel difficult time with my family.
Yeah.
I feel difficult time at school. So I want to escape.
Yeah.
Change
from
of
that-
environment.
Yeah,
In-
yeah, yeah.
in a
Changing
lot of-
environment is
In a lot of things in my life, I've thought about, like I'm living in an apartment. My escape was always I'm moving to the country. I'm just gonna be a farmer and I'm done with teaching, or when it gets too stressful. And I always thought, no, you have to endure, because overall it wasn't that bad. But it sounds like in your life it was, relationship and work and family, all of these things coming together. So maybe a change was absolutely necessary.
But the other part is that just moving to the countryside or moving to Vietnam or many teachers coming to Korea, it doesn't fix you just have a different set of problems, a different set of stresses.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean that they all disappear. And
yeah.
I mean, life that's part of life. I mean, you're always going to have those trials, tribulations, whatever in your life. But
True.
it's just a different. We say same shit, different pile.
Yeah.
You still have issues. They're just different ones. Some of them might be more manageable. But now you're back in Korea. Seems like you're probably happier now than you were before you left.
So I problem is little bit solved when I choose the
When you went to Vietnam, yeah.
And also additionally I applied to Iran,
Iran,
and
yeah.
Tehran, the
Yeah.
Korean school,
Yeah.
but I couldn't get it. And also I applied to Hong Kong International Korean School,
Yeah.
but I couldn't. But
How many international schools are there? Korean international schools?
a lot, maybe
it's tough.
62.
62.
Yes.
Wow. And how do you qualify to get that? I've asked my wife, just do what Neil did. Let's go to Vietnam. It'd be so cool. Because you keep your seniority, right? It's through the Korean education.
Yeah.
The Board of
From
Education.
From the Korean national education.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not private.
Employ.
They're not private like lots of the other one,
Yeah.
the American or
It's not
British
a
or
hard
whatever
one,
ones.
So they guarantee their salary or the
Right.
everything. So consulate also care about that.
Right.
Teachers.
Is your housing provided when you go?
No, housing is from my salary.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But as opposed to lots of other international schools, you keep your seniority in Korea. You keep your promotional track. All that stuff stays the
So
same.
yeah, when you come back, it's like you never left.
Yeah.
You just,
Right.
In case of me, I don't want to promote to the principal.
Right.
Principal is not my dream.
Right.
So that's why I try to move on to the abroad. And also at the time, if I go to abroad, means I want to give up to promote to the another people,
Really?
colleagues. So he doesn't want to promote because at the time we lost that 4 years. It means doubles. 8
really?
years lost of gaining the
Right.
points.
Points in the school system here. Yeah.
So
so you don't get points going over there?
the being a principal,
Not the-
they should gather points. But if I go to the
Abroad.
Vietnam, so just 4 years like blank.
Okay.
That's important.
So
It's
is it
great. You'd think the experience would kind of bump you up.
Yeah,
would
yeah,
bump
yeah,
you
yeah.
up even more. No.
But there's a lot of people trying to be principals. It's the same as us sending the teachers and the policemen up north to work in the north. Here they send them out to the farthest, deepest countrysides. If you want to be a principal, you go work in the smallest, crappiest schools,
Right.
And then
way out
work
in the
your way
bush,
back
and
into
then
the city.
come back to the city.
Yeah.
Not a
Is
bad
it easy to get into those 62 schools, or is it very difficult?
Difficult, very difficult. But luckily, I got the chance
Nice.
because supervisors and teachers gave me a lot of assignments.
Yeah.
That is my result.
Okay.
So I have many results when I apply them
Which
my
is-
documents. A lot.
Which is part of the problem here. That emphasizes to younger teachers, do like Neil did, because if you work hard and stay till 10 o'clock, you'll get a chance to.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
if you don't, then you don't get that chance. So just the cycle never stops. So what was the school like?
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Is it only Korean children, or is there other children there as well?
It's only Korean children, but the assembly members came to the national assembly members came
Yeah.
to our school,
Yeah.
and then they want to open that to not only Korean but
Of
also
course, yeah.
Vietnamese
Yeah,
or
yeah.
the Westerns,
Mm.
but Korean teachers doesn't want. So
Okay.
I don't know. I don't agree that. But
Why?
Yes,
Korean teachers.
having 20 ESL kids who can barely sport.
But Korean.
Well, ideally they would start it. They would
Yeah.
go through the city. It'd be like a French immersion at
Right.
home.
Right. But having 20 KSL kids in there, I mean, will make it very challenging. It's the same with the teachers would say at home.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess if their parents aren't speaking Korean at home.
I want to open. In case of me, my
Yeah.
opinion is want to open to the Vietnamese, to the Western.
Right.
This is a real international school.
Right.
But if Korean is just a
Korean foreign school.
Korean school, Korean school just.
Maybe a stupid question. Do Korean kids pay tuition to go there?
Yes. You have to
It's
pay the fee.
It's not. I mean, here when a child goes to when a child goes to school here, they don't pay tuition, or I mean, it's a very small tax, but
In case of here,
yeah,
we don't pay.
it's free. Oh yeah.
It's free by high school maybe. Or,
Until high school.
Yeah.
But kids are paying tuition to go into
That Korean school.
Yeah,
They
the
have to
Korean
pay $300
Yeah.
for a month.
$300 a month. Well, not so bad.
Yes.
That's not so bad.
Yeah.
Like a nice Yuchi one here, I'd say. Yeah. Cool.
But the other international school paid a lot. Should pay like ABC.
Oh, good Christ! The one here was
England school,
$30,000-$40,000.
A lot.
Is the education quality, I guess, very similar to Korea because it's Korean public school teachers who are working there?
it's same curriculum,
No.
different curriculum.
Different system. They use textbook from Korea,
Yeah.
but different style. The curriculum is like how can I say, bilingual. So if I teach math
Yeah.
in Korean,
Yeah.
first the next time is math in English.
Ah.
So
okay.
we have co-teacher every two homeroom teachers. The one is a Korean teacher, one is the Western teacher. These two homeroom teachers cooperate each other.
And they're hired by who are the Western teachers hired by?
hired by me, my school. So I'm in charge of that, the coordinator.
Yeah.
So I post on the Facebook or another.
How come you didn't call me?
Huh?
How come you didn't call me? I would have went with you.
Well, they're employed by the Korean government,
No, Korean school.
by the school.
Yeah.
So the school
system
independently
is
hires.
like a private school. The budget and
Right.
the school, the board have the
Power.
power.
Wow. Okay.
So is it the same as the foreign teachers who work here in public school?
Better,
Is it similar?
Better.
Are they qualified teachers in their
Qualified
countries?
too, but better. Better the salary, better the chance to just the dealing with the education system. In case of here, we just actually following their instructions
Right.
such
Yeah.
like that. But there is we
Create.
Free. Yeah.
create
Yeah.
together.
Ah, cool.
And also not only one at school, but also maybe in South Korea maybe one Western teacher at school, but
Right.
or three Western teachers at school, but there are maybe 30
Really?
30 Western teachers.
That's a huge school.
Yeah, but
You were in Ho Chi Minh.
but Korean teachers maybe
Yeah.
100 around.
How many
Holy
students?
Christ.
Student is over. I'm not sure, but over 2,000.
Students?
Yes.
Elementary
From
school?
grade 1 to grade 12.
So it's elementary, middle, high school. But that's still, I mean, in general, the schools in Korea are huge compared to my school. That was 150 kids or something.
Yeah.
Like, I only knew having one grade. Grade 1 had one class, grade 2 had one class, grade 3 had one class.
My school was huge, and we had 4 grade 8 classes. 100 kids graduate from grade 8. But I mean,
So when I was at Oksancho, it was over 1,000 kids,
Yeah.
grade 1 to 6. And I went, there's 6 or 7 or 8 classes of each grade. I'd never seen schools that big in my life.
my buddies in French immersion school, their graduating class going into high school is like 17. 17 kids.
So what do all of these kids' parents do in Vietnam? Are they all
Their
company
job-
workers or
company
factories or
workers,
what?
whatever. The maybe the Chinese the economic that is difficult, so
Yeah.
they move to the Vietnam,
Vietnam,
a
yeah.
lot. Day by day, year by year, they came to Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City. So
Uh-huh.
there's a lot huge. The companies is moving on to the.
But the Korean guys, are they? Who's over there? Is it Hyundai? Hyundai has a couple
Hyundai,
big
Samsung,
plants.
many factories.
And
many
so the
companies,
Koreans that are there are generally managers or supervisors, or
usually.
so these are families that have money.
Yes, they have the money there. So they kind of CEO or the Bob-in. How can I say? Bob-in is the
Lawyer?
kind of this company is not mine. This is the group of this kind of
Corporation.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Huh.
they in case of like that, Lotte Mart is there. So
Yeah.
the father is the
Subsidiary?
head of that
Right.
Lotte Mart.
Subsidiary.
Yeah, something like that. So
Wow.
so there is many Korean people.
Yeah.
So
And
there is many Korean people. So there is many Korean restaurant. There is many Korean
Oh, okay,
학원 thing,
Yeah.
academies.
It's the same. They open a new part of town. The apartment goes up, then you get the chicken place and the Noraebang and this and that.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so is that only like I was in Ho Chi Minh about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, but I don't remember seeing very many Koreans at all, and I left after here. So
How long were you there?
3 months maybe.
You were
Well,
3 months?
Not in Ho Chi Minh, but in all of Vietnam. But usually, I mean, they would say Koreatown is here, or when you go to Philippines, you know the Koreans.
Yeah.
You don't have to go and find them. I mean, you'll see them in a second.
Yeah.
When you go to China, you see them. In Nepal, you see them.
But it doesn't sound you were maybe on the tourist route.
So
Right?
that's
When
what I
you go to-
wonder. Is it only in Ho Chi Minh, or is it just Ho Chi Minh, Hanoi, or is it all of Vietnam now? Or because Da Nang has become a huge tourist destination, and now anything close to Da Nang has become the next place. So what is it? Is it only isolated to there, or is it the whole country?
There is many options, but the Korean, in case of Korean school, there is in Hanoi and in Ho Chi Minh, there's
There's
two Korean school in Vietnam, and in case of Korean people, Korean, not the traveler, the living there is all the peninsula there.
Yeah.
So, but their students, their children, they have chance to go to the Hanoi Korean school or Ho Chi Minh Korean school. So
They
their
want to live there.
family is in Ho Chi Minh City or Hanoi
Oh
City.
no, yeah.
But if they want to give their children to international school, they can have option and or local school too. So, but usually their wife and children is in Saigon.
So that must be why the Korean school has English, because if they didn't, all those rich kids would just go to the English international school, right?
Yeah, right.
Because
If
the
they-
parents would see that as a better option. But
Right.
this way they get the Korean culture. They get a lot of Koreans abroad. Concerns is that their kids lose connection and contact with Korea, right? And lots of our friends in Canada are concerned about their kids' Korean levels, and they just stop reading. They stop their ability to write and read and stuff just disappears after a few years of not doing it, especially in elementary school in the formative years. So that must be the main reason why they have English in the Korean school.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and also I want to add this: the English Western teacher at Korean school is not just the English teacher; just really homeroom teacher, math,
Phys ed,
science,
right.
social studies, language arts,
Yeah.
English, everything. So this really
Chrissy, if you're listening, it sounds like a good option. So you can live a very comfortable Korean life in Vietnam with
Yes.
that many people, restaurants, and everything else.
price is low. To me,
Yeah.
it's
Cost of living is-
another option.
Yeah.
And the weather and the
Nice, eh?
And what about the system in the school? Like we talked about the hierarchy and the huesiks and all this stuff. Does that exist in a private kind of Korean international school, or is it very different?
it's the same. We have that pressure also. So
From Korean
yeah,
principal,
Western
yeah.
teacher also drink soju together a lot
Yeah.
until they lost their until black out.
Yeah.
So it's have the same mood, but
Ah.
they follow. And also many of them have experience teaching in South Korea.
Yeah.
So when they apply here, I working in South Korea. So please look at this. I've been to Seoul 3 years.
Who's that? The foreign teachers?
Foreign teachers, Western teachers. Yeah,
Cool. And you picked up the language while you were there? You speak Vietnamese?
I can speak Vietnamese.
Yeah.
I can speak. I was first year is just in charge of ESL.
Yeah.
But next year I have the head of the managing the Western teachers.
Yeah.
So because I found that most of the Western teachers have lack of information, something like, because no one trying to
Help them,
translate.
yeah. Okay,
So
okay.
there is gap of receiving the information.
Yeah.
Time difference. So so one teacher receive important information, they spread out.
Yeah.
But
same as us here.
but
Yeah.
that is not officially things. So
Oh, okay.
I found that we should fix this. They my friend, but they why they don't know. So so after that, and also Western teachers know me.
Yeah.
So they support. Really should be this job. So they make a letter to the
Reference.
principal. So principal, okay.
So you studied Vietnamese? How?
I studied a little bit and I learned, but acquisition.
Yeah.
Just hanging out with Vietnamese.
Yeah.
The same way we learn Korean.
The reason why I studying Vietnamese is because of Nate. Because when I met Nate at the first
because
time
of Nate,
before wedding, his Korean is awesome. So I asked Mr. Nate, why can you speak Korean a lot? How can you do that? He goes, this is important. Look, this. If I speak only English, I have just this. I can be this
network.
Network of women. But if I can, if I speak Korean,
I don't know if it was only women's, but maybe
a lot of boundaries. So
unlimited.
They can have friendly. If they cannot speak English, they hesitate, afraid. But
I find here even speaking a small amount, people once you start speaking or putting an effort into speak, people are more accepting,
appreciative,
more
respectful that you're trying.
Right.
You don't just come here as the.
I learned
from Nate. Nice. The anyway, sorry. To stay on Vietnam, would you recommend that other Korean teachers go there despite kind of giving up their
Points.
Giving up their points or whatever? Would you recommend that as a?
I recommended that.
Yeah.
To Korean teacher and Western teacher.
Living in Vietnam, what was your biggest challenge? Being a foreigner.
Separating with my mother and father and missing the homeland, something like that.
Okay.
That it's true. But the others, weather, food, and I feel happy. Yeah.
What about the challenges for your family adapting?
Well, one of the reasons moving
your children and your wife, and I mean sometimes having that base of, I mean, it sounds like a huge Korean community there.
Yeah. Right.
You know, when we came, there was not many Canadians here at all. I mean, we were lucky we were young and single, but
you are Canadian too.
Yeah.
But even now, I mean, there's still not a huge network. I mean, there's probably 10 families that we see out regularly or at events. But having a whole school of 1,200 kids and all their parents and other family, I mean, it must have made the transition easier. But what were some of the challenges for your family transitioning, your wife and your kids?
There's two things, but in case of school things, we teacher should care about students after school too. So when students have problem at their community, so parents call to the teachers because teacher is like a police or something like that. So when they lost some problem, every time they call to the teacher, not only the school affairs, but also their private things too, because there is Korean town. The parents have nothing to ask, cannot go to the consulate, so they report all kind of things they ask or report to the.
But I mean, I knew some Hagwon directors as well, and moms would call like, so in English Hagwon director, like husband and wife team. Some of the students' moms would call them and talk about like a different Hagwon. They're like, "Oh, Jimmy's getting bullied at the math Hagwon. What do you think?" Like they want they have to run the English school and be like a mental therapist,
counselor
for
right.
the.
But that's often, I mean, that's part of what a teacher is. I mean, you're a doctor, you're a counselor, you're a therapist, you got to wear all those hats.
That occurred on the Saturday night at close to midnight, which I find crazy.
I remember getting pretty frustrated with my wife one day. We were on the way to a wedding on Sunday at like 11 in the morning, and the mom calls up and starts, telling my wife about all her problems and kids' problems, family problems. Just hang up. Tell her to call during a weekday or school.
Wow.
For 30 minutes on the way to Busan, she's got to listen to this mom complaining about all her kids and other family issues that he's not like this because me and my husband are fighting and that's why my kid behaves bad. Oh my God.
But I find there's very little separation of life and work in some aspects of Korean work culture. Yeah.
And there's another challenge in there is my family things. My father, I have two sons there. I just 2011 and 2014. They came out Vietnam. So
Oh, they were born in
Born
Vietnam.
there.
Yeah.
So my father, their grandfather and grandmother cannot see only the pictures or
yeah.
only phone call, the
That's hard,
video
yeah.
call. So
Which is important in most cultures, but I'd say even more so in Korea. You know, those milestones and stuff. They're especially the first birthday and stuff. I mean, these things are huge in Korea.
Did you do doljanchi in?
no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Did your wife stay in the Joriwan?
Pardon?
Did your wife stay in the Joriwan?
조리원? No, there is no 조리원.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my God,
and she survived.
she's still alive? Unbelievable.
There,
eh?
there is only the Franco Vietnam, the French, the
Yes.
hospital there.
Right.
So they care about a lot. But after discharge from there, we have maid.
Yeah, maid.
Yeah,
Helper.
yeah, yeah. Helper, yeah.
Housekeeper.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And babysitter.
Oh, cool.
And the cooker.
Nice.
So cheaper.
Wow, must have been hard coming back to
Yeah,
Korea.
Yeah.
Instead of Joriwan, they help.
You do that, yeah. You know what? I used to shit on the Jody one. It was a good experience, and highly recommended.
Did
Expensive though.
It was $1,000 for the week.
1,000.
I think it was about 1,000 for the week. But you know what? I hate spending useless money, and I think just going home. I don't know if I talked about this before. I was so against it. Like, I'm not spending $1,000 for you to lay around, and they're gonna feed you. They're gonna feed you miyaku, the seaweed soup. Yeah, they're gonna feed you seaweed soup for a week. But it wasn't just that. It was relaxing, massage. They teach you how to feed the baby, and well, it's good overall.
How about Canada? Do you have
That might just be like a.
Canada Joriwan is called Nate.
Aye?
You go home within 48 hours. You're home in most cases.
I think you spend a few days in the hospital. Just
2 nights. I think it's usually.
yeah.
That's short.
My sister has 5 kids.
Ah.
Her last 2 or 3 were drive-through.
Ah.
She went in, had the baby, and went home. Really? It gets easier the more you. I can't.
easy,
I can't talk.
slow down.
From what my sister says, I think from the first one to the 5th one, the labor is less, and the baby arrives much easier than the first ones. So, anyways, she's done the last 2 or 3, gone in, had the baby, and come home for dinner the same day.
Jesus.
So, yeah, I mean, she's an exception, but you definitely don't get to stay for weeks. But the Jody ones are popping up now in Los Angeles and Koreatown, and they're becoming.
It's a good
seaweed
thing.
soup is also becoming popular. So
It just,
it's
I mean,
changing.
when the baby was when my first child was born, you're so excited to be a dad. Then you're like, when do I feed him? When do I change him? Do I do this? Do I do that? And it's kind of like a buffer for a week before you go home.
But for thousands of years, there was never a Jody one anywhere, and everyone survived no problem.
That way, yeah.
Joriwan is a Korean unique one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. In the whole world, people are having kids all over in all kinds of conditions that don't have that.
What's the term when you overpay for something and then you go back and you're convinced it was great? Maybe that's my problem here. But my wife did it and it was good. I'd recommend.
So my next question: were you living in an apartment there, or did you have like a townhouse or a house, or what was the actual? I mean, is the school next to the Koreatown? Everyone lives similar in an area, or what was it like?
Yeah, it is just an apartment. That's easy option and also cheap. But the other villas one is expensive, so I cannot pay for that by my salary.
Right.
So usually this apartment like smaller than this apartment, but though $700 for a month. Yeah.
700 a month.
Yeah.
And was your wife working there, or was she just enjoying, or does she have like a community center to go to engage in cultural activities and cross-cultural stuff? Or
My wife is a housewife, and my wife was a housewife too, so doesn't go to work. And she
Nate says enjoying, like she's sitting back.
but I mean, like, is
umbrella
it? Yeah,
cocktails.
I guess. Well, you had the 2 new kids, so
Yeah.
it would have been really difficult. But do all the same kind of rules apply as in Korea? Don't go outside for 100 days. This, or you just go, I'm free. I can do anything.
So there are many mothers have free time. They don't have to care about their housekeeping. There's many maids. So they
In the Chishim, I don't know, does that include the housekeepers?
different.
Oh, okay.
But the maid is maybe total 3% in total $200
A month.
A month.
For 3 people.
Yeah. whole time.
Wow.
What am I doing here?
Okay, I'm applying for that job tomorrow.
So
Wow.
they have a lot of free time. So many
Right.
mothers get together, go to coffee shop, and
They spend $300 on coffee.
noisy about the school out. This is
Noisy
very
about
nice.
the school.
Goddamn meal teacher.
This is similar to what they do in Korea.
Yeah, but
Right.
in Korea, but they don't have that. They don't have
As
that,
much free
that,
time.
That time, but
Right.
they have a lot of time. So they go to massage or they have some, whatever they want.
Yeah.
Just spending your money.
And did your kids end up going to daycare once they were 1 or 2 or 3, or were they always just with your wife?
With my wife.
Always.
Yeah.
Cool.
What was the best part of living in Vietnam?
Best part is woman. The female girls have a good emotion to the Korean guys.
Oh, the
Because
the Vietnamese women?
the kind of things.
Ah, okay.
So they think you're G-Dragon or what?
This is a Korean man, so let's go. Okay, this is my cell phone number.
Ah,
They call
okay.
and text me a lot, and okay, let's go out. And
So the problem, the finding the girlfriend problem, is a reason why you went to Vietnam. That stayed with you. That was that didn't change. That wasn't a solution. Moving to Vietnam
so
wasn't.
I counted the 56 at the same time.
56 what?
The girlfriend,
56.
But girlfriend means what? Sending a message?
not at the same time.
You had 56 girlfriends?
On
yeah.
what?
But the time has gaps, but at the same time. What I want.
Does your wife know that?
No.
How do you keep 56? I take a shit. My wife knows about it.
For example, I
I did.
have a motorbike accident.
Right.
Yeah.
I go to the hospital.
Yeah.
My face is ugly, but the nurse asked me my cell phone number. and
Oh,
something
no
that.
way.
And nurse, I go to the convenience store. Okay, cell phone number. Whatever I go,
They ask you?
both. But I think she's a beautiful. May I ask your cell phone number? Something.
Ah.
Is that do you think do they see you as their ticket to Korea? Because
No.
because at my college and the university and there's a lot of Vietnamese students and lots of them like the Hallyu wave and they want to really come to Korea because this is maybe like America for a lot of people 20 years ago. That the American dream. Korea is a shining light in Asia, and everybody now talks about Korea because of the Hallyu and the K-pop, and the food and everything else. So
But even when we put out on Facebook, we put a call out for we need new coordinators for our NGO, and we're getting messages from all over Asia. I can come to Korea, or I would like to move here and help you out. And they think it's an unpaid position, unfortunately, but there is lots of interest from Asia to come.
So part of my question is, did you speak Vietnamese to them so they think, oh, okay, or like when we came to Korea, most Koreans would be a little bit apprehensive to talk to you or approach you, or so. What was it like there? I mean, that sounds.
My aim for them is to learn Vietnamese language. So I get 56 people tell me this term. What is that? I look at the dictionary.
Okay.
They say this expression. So, but it is
56
not a
teachers.
textbook things. So
It's real Vietnamese.
learn
Right.
a lot of Vietnamese from them. But their goal is not just
Teaching.
the Korean tickets. They want to have money. So I should pay when go to the restaurant. I should pay when they want to have classes.
Like a date.
Like a date. But so that's just
Kind of like having a girlfriend, basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like a
also, this one is not just paying money. Not just the.
This is back massage, right?
prostitute. Just the.
Yeah.
Back massage. That's a Korean back massage.
Yeah, it's a girlfriend.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Ah, interesting.
they respect me. I also respect, but actually, Western
Yeah.
teachers is more responsible
More responsible. Yeah.
than me because they care only with one Vietnamese girls, and also if they have future, they have
I know
get
how much-
married and they care their family too.
I know how much
want to learn
of a
from
headache
this.
just one wife is. I
but-
couldn't imagine having 10 girlfriends on the side.
So is there a lot of like is this common? Is this situation common
No,
in Vietnam?
My situation is unique, but
Yeah.
the mood is like okay, Korean welcome. That is the mood.
It's a
but
welcoming
not
mood.
like me.
Okay.
In case of me, it's very unique.
Okay, listen. We're on there. There's so many things left on the on our list here to talk about. I think we should cut it now, and maybe next week. Are you available next week?
I don't know if you are.
What's your schedule like? Do you have any time next week? This time?
Oh, I can make a time.
Can you make time?
Yes.
Okay.
Round 2?
What time? Oh, yeah. Two. Yeah,
Oh,
round two. No.
Round two.
This
Do you
same
want-
time.
If you want, I
Same
can-
time next week. Can we do?
yeah.
Listen, there's so many. I
yeah.
think we're just scratching. We're scratching the
Aha.
surface here.
Yes.
We still.
round two is okay.
There's. I would like to not rush through the through our final talking points here. We want to get into why you left Vietnam, your life since coming back to Vietnam, and there's so much to talk about. And I think if we rush through it in the next 15 minutes, we won't do it any justice.
Okay.
So, anyways, it was nice to have you, and we'll continue. I'm gonna try and get this up as soon as I can. Maybe get some interest, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and we'll catch you again next week. Bye bye.